Let's discuss bug out bags. Now, I have done a bug out bag video in the past. However, it is that time of year. I do like to rotate the items and check on the bag at least once or twice a year, just to make sure that all the items are, up to date, they aren't expired, they can be replaced, or nothing has broken or gotten damaged in the bag. Now, this bag is a little different than the last bug out bag I showed you, just because it's actually more of a longer term situation or disaster bug out bag, more of an emergency go pack. We do have to think about longer term scenarios where we have to leave our home. Now, in California or in a lot of parts of the country right now, there have been a lot of wildfires, a lot of floods, some earthquakes and things like that. So those are situations where we may not be able to come home right away. You can keep it in your vehicle. I actually travel in my bus, so I have this bag ready to go in my bus. Sometimes when you're on the road, you have to evacuate the vehicle, leave it at a shop, and have to get a hotel for a couple of days. And you just want to make sure that you have your basics without having to run around at the last minute gathering things and forgetting important things that you may need. Now, this bag is actually a little bit more tailored to female needs, but even if you're not a female, it can help you prepare a bag for the women in your life, or help you prepare a bag minus the items that you don't need. Now, since water is one of the most important items that we need, I'm going to show you my water bladder, and that is something that I keep in the back of the bag, just because water can actually weigh a lot more than other items, and you want to keep the items that are heaviest closest to your back. The closer you have the heavy items to your back, the easier it is to carry, and I can definitely drink water on the go. This is a great bag. It's the 72-hour Rush, and it does have a hydration ladder pocket, so I love that. Now, speaking of water, I do carry a Life Straw water filter here, just to make sure that if I gather water from streams or different bodies of water, that I can get it filtered out and drink clean water, and I don't get any bacteria or any items that may not be good to drink in your water. The other items that I carry in this pouch are my flashlight. Now, this is the ThruNite VSS V4. I want to thank ThruNite again for sending this to me as a gift for Christmas. And the other item that I carry with me here is my K-bar knife. It's the USMC, United States Marine Corps K-bar. I love it very much. I have 2 of these. Now here I just have some Vaseline soaked cotton balls and some wet fire tabs just to start a fire with. And I also carry some waterproof matches in this little container. Now, I also do carry some firearm cleaner and some lube, just to make sure everything stays nice and clean. And I also keep a couple of boxes of ammo. And I also do keep 1 extra mag and another baby mag. I do have this pill bottle that I have from old pills that I no longer use. I do like to keep the containers, however, because they are waterproof and you can keep other items in here. These are also great for storing ammo and keeping those items nice and clean. So later I'll probably transfer that ammo into one of these containers. However, in here I just have some basic items that I want to have on hand. I have some cough drops. This is more of a little first aid one. I have some pills that I might need. These are just allergy medicine, ibuprofen, Tylenol, that sort of thing in here. That's just a small little first aid kit, just in case. When I was in Idaho, I actually got stung by so many mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are loving me right now. So I definitely like to make sure that I keep some of the allergy medicine on hand, and ibuprofen and things like that. I did get a fever from all of the different mosquito bites I had. It was pretty bad. So another item that I do keep now is actually some Vaseline that I put bug spray in. I actually sprayed a bunch of it in and mixed it all together, so I can just go ahead and put this on just in case I'm in an area where there's a lot of bugs. And I also don't want to carry a big bottle of bug spray in here, so this is actually good. And just in case I get bit up by other things, I do have some sting kill here. This is little cartridges that come with lidocaine, and I believe they have other ingredients in there that it's like mint or something like that that helps with the bites from everything from a wasp to mosquito to different creepy crawlies that may have stung you. These work great. I was actually shocked by how great these work. So as you can see, just in this one pocket, you have a lot of items. You do have to mind the weight of the bag, of course, but I just wanted to show you how much items you can actually pack in one side. And on the other side, I have this bunched up protein bar that I actually need to eat, so I'm gonna be replacing this. I do keep some eye protection here. This is just easy to have and throw on and keep your eyes protected in dust, fire, that kind of situation. And I do have some mechanics gloves. I also do keep this troll. So as you can see, it's just like a little shovel you can use to dig a hole for doing your business in the wilderness, or just to you know, dig a hole for like a fire pit to have it more protected and not as visible from, you know, far away. You don't need this. This is more of a luxury item, so you're not like digging with sticks. Another item I have is this 4-way key. It's the Silcock key that you can use to open up different faucets that don't have actual handles in like outside of buildings or whatnot. And I wrapped a bunch of fish line on it. You can use the fishing line for fishing, or you can use it as actual cordage. So it comes in handy and it works like a nice little spool. And there is my lighter. And the other things that I do have here is some aqua tabs, just in case I need to clean some water and I don't have access to a water filter for some reason. They're just good to have as backup. And moving on to the front of the pouch, we have a bunch of stuff in here. The first thing I have is a pair of sunglasses here, just to protect your eyes. Always good to have a pair of shades in there. And of course, I do keep some items to write with, a pen and a Sharpie, which has some electrical tape and some duct tape wrapped around it. Just works as a nice little spool. Don't have to carry a lot, but you can carry some. It always comes in handy. And here I just keep some multivitamins. And there's actually some batteries in this pouch here. Now this battery bank goes to my walkie-talkie. This is the Motorola T465. It is the radio that I have in all of my family's bug out bags. That's just a way to communicate in an emergency if the cell phones are down for some reason. I do keep some AA batteries just because this radio works with either the bank or the batteries, so that's very helpful. And you can also use this as a barter item. Now another radio I do keep is the Baofeng This is the ham radio that is the model UV5R. Yeah. Now this model I like because it does work as a FM radio, so you can either listen to music on it, listen to, you know, information, news, updates, but you can also communicate. If it's an emergency, you can transmit on one of these without a ham radio license, but I really just like to keep one because you can listen in on other people's transmissions and stay up to date on other people's information about, you know, what the status is in their locations. And that is the antenna for that radio. I don't keep it on it because I don't want it to get bent or damaged in the actual pouch, and since it is removable, I just take it off and I can just put it on when I need it. Now, since I do carry that radio, I like to carry the battery charger to it because you definitely want to make sure that you can recharge that radio. Now this is the one that comes for the wall, but I bought the adapter for it. It's the USB adapter, so I can plug it into any USB port, whether it's my car or my actual solar charger that I keep also with this bag as well. So it is rechargeable on the go with a solar charger. And I also have a headset for the Motorola radio that I showed you guys. Another item that I do keep in here that's kind of hard to take out right now is actually the sharpener for my knife. It's the I believe it's the CC4 whetstone. Another thing that I do keep in there is actually a very small sewing kit. Now this is more all like my communication and navigation section. Now on with the navigation items, I do have my compass. And this is actually Harley's vaccines. You never know if you end up at a hotel or something like that. And I have a copy of like her service animal, you know, certificate and all that stuff in here. And of course, what is navigation without any maps? We do have a few maps here, mostly of the Western United States and the state I live in. This one is actually waterproof, so I like that. And you can, you know, keep reusing it. And so I like to have this on hand because even if it's raining, you can still use it. Now in this pouch, I like to keep things that are more accessible, or I want to keep more accessible. This is a very small first aid kit that I keep just like basic bandages, things like that. And inside I do have some like, you know, aspirin and painkillers. It's a very small first aid kit, very basic, just to have on hand. I do keep just a little bit of cash in there just to have, like I said, on hand. You never know. The other thing that I like to keep accessible is my cotton nail wet wipes. I just like to keep some wet wipes accessible because I like to make sure you can stay clean your hands, clean yourself, or if you need to use the bathroom, you don't need to, you know, go and dig into through the entire pack to get out like your toilet paper. And this just keeps you a lot cleaner. And the other thing that I like to keep on hand is just some deodorant. Like I said, this is more of a longer term scenario, weekend pack. You know, if you need to leave your house in a fire, earthquake, and you're going to be away from home a little bit longer. I know a lot of people say this is, you know, extra, but hygiene is, you know, pretty important, especially when you're in an emergency scenario. That definitely helps to boost morale. And last but not least, I do like to keep a course of amoxicillin antibiotics in here. You know, it's good to have on hand, and you can also trade it, barter it. This is actually highly valuable. I keep it in these little watertight containers instead of keeping like the big, you know, bottles that they come in, just because it's a lot of, you know, more of a space saver. Oh, and one thing that I didn't show you that is in the back here is a list of emergency phone numbers. I know we have our phones, I know we have our contacts there, but it's always good to write them down on a piece of paper somewhere else. Now in the front of the pouch here, I do have an extra lighter. I do have a mask here, just, you know, for dust or COVID. And chapstick. And I keep an extra charger for my items. Okay, now we're gonna go into the big pouch. This holds all of my clothing inside. This is a waterproof bag, so I like to keep all of my items, clothing, articles in here. I'll show you what's in here in a little bit. But continuing with the hygiene items, I keep some dental floss, some toothpaste, which I put some tape around the top just to make sure it doesn't leak. My little toothbrush, Go Bag toothbrush, some Q-tips in a watertight container, and a small comb just to keep the hair tight, and then of course some hair ties. These are actually really important. We lose these everywhere, so having a few of these is great. Now this is for my ladies, of course. I do keep a menstrual kit in the pouch there. I like to make sure that I have a little bit of everything when I'm on the go. I have everything from pads and panty liners to tampons. I also have some hand sanitizing wipes, you never know, as well as some Summer's Eve Femme soap to keep yourself clean and rinse off. And I also have a bottle bidet adapter that you can use with any water bottle just to rinse yourself off if you don't have access to a shower and stay clean, especially in that time of the month, ladies. It's very important. And I have a few Tylenol pills there just for cramping, as well as a small bar of soap. You never know when you can need that. And that's pretty much all that's in here, except for my reusable pads, which I keep a couple in here just to make sure that if I were to run out of the other items, that these, you know, are more long-term, like I said, and reusable. So these are really good to have. And a new addition, once again, in a container that keeps it nice and clean. And I need to take the labels off of this. Here, I actually have my menstrual cups, and it's a great way to keep them and keep the shape, and that way they don't get smushed or damaged in the bag. So I can just place them inside and they stay nice and clean. So if you don't know what a menstrual cup is, it's basically replacing a tampon. So you basically just fold it and insert it, and it pops right open, and all of your period and everything that sheds in your uterus catches in the cup, and you just squeeze it and remove it and clean it. You can just, you know, rinse it out and re-sterilize it and reinsert. It's always good to have a couple of them just so that you can sterilize both of them and keep them, which I have to do again because I just touched it. But, you know, just making sure that you keep them clean, and these are reusable month by month. So in case you run out of the tampons and everything else, or you can't wash your pads for some reason, this actually takes a lot less water to rinse and re-sterilize and reinsert, and you can just reuse them, rotate them, and I actually really love these. And I just keep this in the container there along with the instructions for them. I also keep a sleeping bag in here, of course, just to make sure we stay warm depending on where we're gonna sleep that night. And I do keep a air mattress. It's inflatable. This is the Climate static, so I do like to keep this on hand just in case I don't end up somewhere that's necessarily very comfortable. You can always make your own bed, whatever you may need it for. And just in case it rains, I have my one tigress poncho that also doubles as a tarp. Now this actually is great because you can use it as a tarp. And I do have a spare tent and also an extra tarp that I keep with me that I carry separately on my bike. Now I have my bike just in case I do have to evacuate my bus, and you never know if, like, in a fire or a flood, you have to leave your actual vehicle behind for some reason. I would take my bike in that scenario, and so I would have an extra tarp and a tent, but this is just a good backup because it doubles as a tarp, and of course it's a poncho if it rains. Now I also have, of course, a bunch of food in here. Most of it is freeze dried and just very easy to use and cook. You just need hot water, boiling hot water, and you can make meals out of them. So I keep these, granola, something for breakfast, and just some beef stroganoff, ice cream sandwich. All of these are from Mountain House, just because I found them that they have the pouches and they're a lot easier to use. And I have these crisps, and that's just strawberries. You can mix in with oatmeal or just eat them by themselves. Have another pouch of food, and here I keep just another go pack of food. It has some oatmeal in there, some Spam singles, and some rice-a-roni rice that's like easy to cook in like 7 minutes. Just add water. So just simple things to make. I have a couple of sweets here just for when you have a sweet tooth, you never know. And I do keep Splenda, and of course a pouch of coffee and creamer inside of this. So just in case, you know, you never know, you may need a little bit of a pick-me-up. And I also have some paracord down here in case I need to build a shelter, as well as my saw. Now it's seen better days, you guys have, as you can tell. It's been through some things, but it's still good. It still works. And I have debated a lot with you guys in the last couple videos about if I should keep this in my bag or not. And it actually has come in quite useful, as you can see. And here we have my cooking kit. And here I carry another bidet adapter just because, like I said, it's a good squirter. And I do keep some Carmex here. On the other side, I have a small carabiner to attach anything on here. I have some hand sanitizer that clips onto this, which I'm refilling right now. Nails are very useful in an emergency, in case, you know, security, shelter building, you never know. So these are actually great to have. I don't see these in a lot of people's pouches. So, and inside I do have my spork. And I also keep this brush cleaner for the actual cooking system so I can clean it. I used to carry a little dish sponge with it just to clean and wash, you know, the dish with. However, dish sponges carry a lot of bacteria, so I actually prefer to keep this brush. That's a lot easier to clean and sterilize. And it has this little handy tool that I can just scrape off any, you know, cooked on food and things like that. So I like this much better. I just put a little bit of soap, any type of soap that I have on here, and just scrub it out really good. So, of course, we have the Pathfinder canteen in here. It's the whole cooking system, the whole cooking set that I keep. I have done a video review on this system. It works really well. I really love the fact that it's all one system and it comes all together. It's nice and compact, and it comes, of course, with its little cup. so you can cook. And see, a lot of stuff gets stuck in there, so you want to make sure all that stuff comes out. So I gotta clean that. It does get worn over time, but it's definitely useful. It definitely still works. So I actually love it a lot. I have this in all my bug out bags, and I say all because I have multiple. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, one-handed. So I really love this system, and it all fits nicely in this little pouch. The other thing that I do keep in here is a little blade, just in case I need to cut anything up and I don't want to use or can't use my knife for some reason. I have another lighter here, and I have my ferro rod to start a fire with. Fire steel. Ah, I can't get it out. There it is. Last but not least, I do have my can opener. It's super small and handy. And that is it in the cooking system. Actually, in the back, I do have the lid for the cooking system. So, you know, when you cook items, it's nice and tucked in there. It's kind of hard to get out, which is good. Doesn't fall out. So that's just a little top for the cooking system. And I also keep some extra aqua tabs in there as well. I used to have a little bar of soap in here, but I used it last time that I went out camping, and I used the camping set. So I'm gonna have to replace that now, which is exactly why I like to make sure that I check the bag every now and then. Like I said, at least once or twice a year. And then the very last thing I want to show you here is the Tac Vivi from Survival Frog. Not just can you use it, you know, for a survival blanket, but you can, since it's orange and it's super bright, you can use it for, you know, signaling, use it as a banner, whatever it is that you need it for. And if you need to be rescued, this is the nice big orange color that is visible in day and nighttime. So I really love that. So for clothes, I actually keep 2 pairs of pants in there. One of them is my hiking pants and the other is my cargo pants. So they're both cargo style, but one of them is a quick dry, and it actually has the zip off where they're convertible to shorts, which is very useful, as well as 4 pairs of socks, 4 pairs of underwear, and 3 bras, and 3 tank tops. And I have 3 long sleeve shirts that I keep in here. One for warm weather, one for medium, you know, to cold weather, and the other one for extremely cold weather, which is made out of wool. So that is what I keep for actual clothing in there, just to have spare of clothes. And I would just be wearing whatever shoes I have on, which most likely would be either a pair of good tennis shoes or a good pair of hiking boots, which I have all lined up right up here, ready to go for me. I do keep all my hiking boots accessible. These are brand new. Those have seen better days, as you can tell. And those are new as well. I just got them, and those are just some tennis shoes that I really love and are comfortable to walk in. So I keep those accessible, definitely close to where I keep the bag. So it's easy to just get up and, you know, get ready to go whenever I need to evacuate the bus. And of course, Harley has her own bag as well. So if you want to see what's in her pack, make sure you check out her video. So as you can see, it does carry a nice large amount of items, and it does look like a lot. However, it's nicely packed and compacted in the bag. Now, this is my actual first aid kit. The big one, right? I do have this very small one, like I said. So if I were to lose this one because I have it on my hip, or I had it off my person for some reason and I had to take off without it, I have some basics, but this does not live in the bag. It lives outside of the bag, and I like to keep this together. So this straps on my hip, and this can just go over my neck. It can actually take the weight off my back, and it's a lot easier to carry everything. And you have tons of good stuff in here that you can use. So even if I didn't have my pack, I have the very basics. I'm not going to go into what is in my first aid kit here. I will go into it in a separate video. You know, this video's already ran very long, but make sure you look out for that. I'll be posting that right after this video. And I do have another IFAK video that shows you the other IFAKs that I have, and I have added and changed some items in here, so also check out the new video which has all the additional items that I've included in here. And one item that I am going to add is actually a light jacket, something that is going to give me some layers. So if you found these items useful, definitely subscribe and leave a comment at the bottom which item you found the most useful and which item you'll be adding to your bug out bag after watching. And I'll see you in the next video.